Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shelly and today I am going to be talking through all of the books I am planning on reading in August. Can you believe that August is just a couple of days away? I'm just totally in awe that the year is going by so quickly. If you're new to my channel, or if this is the first video that you've watched of me, then hi, welcome. I really love reading, talking about the books that I read. That's probably actually it. I really love talking about all the things that I'm reading, and I tend to get quite excited about that. And so anyways, if you like that kind of thing, if you also love reading and books and library things, then I would encourage you to subscribe and stick around. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the meat of this video. A couple of things are changing in August for me. I am headed back to work and I'm working in more of a full-time, full-on capacity than I was before. I started back after a long break. This is context for my reading month. If you're not interested in that, then I'll try and remember to leave a timestamp to skip all of the context. But I do think it's interesting. I think that the things that happen in our lives, that happen in my life, shapes what I'm planning to read, my enthusiasm for reading, and what's going on in my reading life in general. And so I think that context is important, especially when we are doing something like, or when I am doing something such as looking forward to what my plans are for the reading month. If you've watched my previous video, which I'll try not to ramble on about, then you would know, but if you don't know, then I'm going to tell you anyways, that I'm going to be starting at a new school. I'm teaching in a more full-on capacity than I was before, and I'm not really entirely sure, though I'm getting a picture of what that workload is going to look like. And so I've been prepping and reading and getting to know my materials while I've not started school yet. But you know, as much as one preps and imagines and tries to get in the headspace of the school year, you don't really know until you actually get in there, right? And so I have a hesitancy to sort of pile on a bunch of reads. I think that giving myself some room to breathe, being gentle with myself when it comes to an intense hobby like reading and talking to you all, like making time to talk to my imaginary booktube friends, that, you know, it's grace and gentleness is what is needed in this moment, rather than like piling on every single possible read and all of that. So I'm going in with the mindset of, this is what I'm hoping to read, but there's flexibility in here, and who knows, maybe things might slow down here on my channel as I adjust, as I try and get comfortable. Things might slow down here on my channel a little bit as I am leaping into a brand new work position and workload and so on and so forth. With all of that in mind, I am hosting the trashiest event on the internet, GarbAugust. I'm one of the 24 co-hosts, and what our plan is to not take reading very seriously, to enjoy our reading to the fullest. Isn't that just perfect, as I am in this transition, that reading is supposed to be light, it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to go in, like, you know, just wash through you, you know, not taking anything, to using our critical brains. No, not this month. so the goal of GarbAugust is to have fun with our reads. And so I have chosen a couple of books that I'm holding. I have a couple of books in my mind that I might pick up, and so we'll go through that first. So GarbAugust possibilities, the things that I might read for GarbAugust. The first one, Lisa Kleypas, Cold Hearted Rake. This is a run-of-the-mill romance novel. Now, I think that if we really wanted to go trashy, I think a category romance, which is a specific kind of romance Steve Donahue and Sarah at the Bookish Knitter have a whole channel dedicated to category romance, and I will leave that link down below. But since I am no romance expert, and since I only have one romance book on my shelf, this is a possibility for GarbAugust. I've heard great things about Lisa Kleypas's writing. So yeah, so here's one of the books that I would love to pick up, or I'm considering picking up for GarbAugust. One of the prompts is a book with nudity on the cover. Scandalous. And so I remembered that I have this scandalous book cover, and it's a hard case crime book, or it's published by Hard Case Crime, and it's Charles Gate Confidential. And so there is this very you know, racy cover. You've got some women in bikinis, and it kind of reminds me of, like, if there was a Bond, like James Bond's face in the background, it would remind me of an old James Bond, like Sean Connery James Bond movie or something like that. That's what it kind of reminds me of. So I remembered that I had this book on my shelf, and it's supposed to be a great mystery novel. It might be a heist. Oh, it is. It's a heist. Well, that's exciting. So maybe I'll read this for GarbAugust. This is by Scott Von Duvik. So yeah, this is a possibility. Could be really, really fun, but mostly picking it up because of the cover. When I was talking about GarbAugust in my announcement video, I mentioned literary smut, and I was shocked. I mean, absolutely shocked at how many people came out with literary smut recommendations or curiosities, just how much literary smut was referenced. And I thought that was so funny because I guess it's more of a thing than I thought it was. The Thornbirds by Colleen McCullough, I think her name is, was talked about. Liz Estrada was mentioned. There was just a lot of recommendations for literary smut. But in that category, I have Hausfrau by Jill Alexander Espon. I've heard this is quite steamy. So this might be a possibility for GarbAugust in terms of books on my shelf. Or on my shelf. There are also two other books that I am considering, one of which is A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is a YA fantasy novel, and I think Olly, the mastermind behind GarbAugust, the king of trash, said that, you know, even this book sort of took him aback, you know, and I was like, oh, well, if it surprised you, then maybe it is quite trashy. So I have that on my mind. It's, you know, again, a YA fantasy romance novel. I've tried A Court of Thorn and Roses, and I got about 3 pages in, and I was like, I can't. But maybe for GarbAugust, I can, you know, like, I can do this. So let me know your thoughts about, like, would you pick up A Court of Thorn and Roses? Is that what it's called? A Court of Thorn and Roses? Is that something you would read? Is that something you think I should read? I would love your opinions down below, because I kind of have, you know, no horse in that race. Like, I wouldn't mind reading it. I'm curious because of Olly's comment, but I'm not, I'm feeling very open to that possibility. The other one that is so tempting that I'm like, oh yes, maybe. And it's Valley of the Dolls, because Steve Donahue of the channel Steve Donahue is running an STD. Oh, it fits right in with the trashy theme, Steve. He has his Steve Tiberius Donahue book club. And with this book club, he is doing Valley of the Dolls, and I can't even remember her name, the author's name, Jacqueline something. I think that's right. And so I would love to I haven't joined in with one of Steve's book clubs yet, like one of his picks, even though every month it's very tempting. I truly consider it every single month, whatever his choice is. Like, he was like, we're reading Wolf Hall this month. And I'm like, Yes. Have I read Wolf Hall? Absolutely. So should I be reading it again? Well, absolutely, because the book is brilliant. But, you know, here I am, like, considering rereading a book just because Steve has picked it. So anyways, I'm considering Valley of the Dolls. Is that right? Valley of the Dolls. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself on everything that I'm saying. So that's a possibility that I want to pick up as well. Probably, if I do, I'll read it on my Kindle. I think his pacing is 100 pages a week, which is absolutely doable for me. So again, I'm toying around with that possibility. But if you have any suggestions or opinions about what I should pick up for GarbAugust, please leave them down below. I get a good chuckle out of your suggestions. I feel like I'm looking very glowy today, but it's okay. It was the look that I was going for. Two other books that I will likely be reading, one of which is for the book club that I'm in. We meet offline. A lot of us have channels here, and it's the Up to No Good book club, and it has Fraser, Simons of the channel Springboard Thought, Sandy at Miss Reads a Lot, Jolene at Bookworm Adventure Girl, and then 3 friends and community members, Sonia, Deb, and Angela. And together we have a collective interest in Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I have the Poppy Wars by R.F. Kuang on my shelves. It's over there. I don't think you can see it. And so, anyways, it's right there. Why am I obsessed with it? If you can see it or not. Okay, so there's that. So the Poppy Wars, so Yellowface, which I heard is slapstick and unhinged woman vibes, which is so my jam. I love that kind of thing. So I will definitely be reading Yellowface. Again, I don't know if my library copy will have it in on time. This is the technical side of it all. I don't know if my library will have it in on time, and so I might be getting it on my Kindle as well to read it, but either way, I'm excited to pick that up. And finally, I will likely, possibly, be reading another Patrick Melrose book because I really like those books. I think they're fantastic. The first book was incredible. Patrick Melrose is a book series. The Patrick Melrose series is by Edward St. Auburn, and it is semi-autobiographical, and the book talks about, I'm losing my train of thought, I'm getting distracted. This is what's been happening lately. And I think, again, it's because I am switching jobs and I have a lot on my brain. And so books, it's like new work is at the top of my mind and books have like slid down the totem pole. And so I've just been like getting distracted quite easily lately, which is not my favorite thing to do. So what I was saying, the Patrick Melrose series is by Edward St. Auburn. It's semi-autobiographical about a young man named Patrick Melrose who has a very abusive and quite tragic childhood. And what I believe he is doing, the author, is that he sort of pulls a day or a couple of days in Patrick Melrose's life, and it's like we, the audience, we, the readers, are checking in with him. And so the first time we see him and meet him and check in with Patrick is when he is 5 years old, and we get to meet his mother and father who are wretched and their friends who are terrible. The book is not for the faint of heart, let me tell you that for sure. And then, and we get to see some of the abuse that he endures as a child. And he's quite a wretched child as well. He is not lovable, but he is also a child, so he gets some forgiveness because he is not in control of his circumstances. And so there's these heartbreaking moments, even though in the book he comes off as quite spoiled and not very lovable, but then you figure out the reasons why. Why am I going into this right now? I don't know. Then the second book, which I didn't love as much, was when we are with Patrick when he's in his early 20s, and he is 100% an absolute drug addict, and we're going with him. We're along the ride while he is on a binge, essentially. So didn't love that one as much, love the first one. So I'm willing to go on with the series because I think that they're really interestingly written, carefully written. They're very short too, which I like. And so that I'll probably be picking up book 3 or book 4, something like that. And I read those and I've been reading those with my friend Fraser. So that's it. That was kind of a long and chatty TBR with a lot of context and all of that. Yeah, so that's it from me. What are you going to be reading this month or in August? I would love to know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye.